Big development in the Darshan murder case. We're looking at Renuka Swami's abduction that's been caught on CCTV cameras. Here's the image. India Today exclusive images showing Renuka Swami, who was abducted in a rented car. Toll Plaza CCTV captures the victim's abduction. Renuka first brought in an auto. He was then shifted into a car taken from Chitradurga to Bengaluru. Caught on camera, the accused driving the car with Renuka. These are shocking revelations because this really leads to investigation in the right direction. We know that Darshan's aides were the ones who kidnapped him. And here's concrete evidence. This is incriminating enough for the police to file a watertight case. Renuka Swami, who was killed, his abduction has now been caught on cameras. You see that clearly. Renuka was dumped into a car, and that car is passing the toll booth here. As visibly you see the car passing a toll booth. He was first abducted from Chitradurga, brought him in an auto, and then was later shifted into a car. And that's the taxi we believe that Renuka Swami is in. Sagaira joining us live for more on that. Sagai, these images we see on camera is incriminating, really adds to the investigation for the police on the Darshan-related murder case. Give us more on the CCTV footage we have. Renuka Swami, we believe, is in that vehicle. He was kidnapped from Chitradurga, taken in an auto, dumped into a taxi car and brought towards Bengaluru.
See, it was all done by Darshan Fan Association President of Chitradurga, Raghu alias Raghavendra, who had kidnapped Renuka Swami from Chitradurga. And remember that Renuka Swami was also a fan of Darshan, and on a pretext of meeting Darshan in Bengaluru, they have asked Renuka Swami to accompany him. And according to sources, he was happy when he boarded that particular car in Chitradurga. Initially, there was an auto which was being sent to pick him up from the interior of Chitradurga. From there, the auto dropped him near the toll, and he gets into an Etios car which was being hired by these goons and took Renuka Swami from Chitradurga to Bengaluru. He was all happy to meet his idol because he was a diehard fan of actor Darshan, and unless he could reach shed, he wasn't aware that he is going to be killed, he is going to be assaulted by the actor Darshan and his associates. The CCTV footage clearly shows that he was in the car, and even the toll employees weren't aware that he was being kidnapped. He was happily going with them on a pretext of meeting actor Darshan in Bengaluru.
All right. You know, so you're saying that the man who was murdered was brought by Darshan's aides, claiming that they're going to introduce him to Darshan. Is that right?
Absolutely. What we get to learn through our police sources is that Renuka Swami was also a fan. See, remember when he had commented saying that Pavitra Gowda is spoiling the relationship of his brother and his sister-in-law. According to him, his brother is Darshan and his sister-in-law is Vijay Lakshmi, the legal wife of Darshan. So there are reports that Darshan having a relationship, Pavitra Gowda, though the Commissioner of Police claims that she is a wife of Darshan, that the fans have not accepted her, and he had put out a message saying that you are spoiling the relationship, you are the one who is interfering between their happy life. So that particular statement has not gone well with Pavitra Gowda. We have escalated with the aides of Darshan, and thereafter whatever happened is history, where they have kidnapped him and brought to Bengaluru, and he was being beaten up inside the shed.
All right. Stay with us, Sagai. Well, we have more news coming in. The twists and turns really getting murkier. Sandalwood takes a stand now against Darshan over the murder case. Popular actor Divya Spandana has taken to social media to put out a long post condemning Darshan. Divya says actors are used to trolling. There are several ways and options on how you can tackle it, not murder. She's also said very clearly, nobody is above the law, and hailed the Karnataka police for doing their job right. Divya Spandana, who's known as Ramya on screen. She was a famous, popular Kannada actor, then turned to politics. She's now jumped in on this, saying there are trolls that come by, actors have to deal with it, it's a regular affair. You can do all that you can to tackle those trolls, but murder is not an answer. Divya Spandana joining me on the phone line. Divya, your take on Darshan committing this crime allegedly? Cops and their investigation showing directly that Darshan could be involved. Well, how would you look at it? Trolls that come by in the way of actors, you have a lot that you have to face on social media. How best can you tackle a situation like this?
You know, there is an option called block, right? I mean, everyone has that option. So if someone's trolling me, the first thing I do is I block them. If I find that it's persistent, then in the past, I have filed cases against them. And then when, the cops have given them a warning, I have, taken back the cases as well. And the same fan association of Darshan's, and I have flagged it in the past on Twitter, they've told me, they've told other actors, they've told their wives and their children too, and I have said this, that, actors should be responsible and they should tell their fan clubs not to stoop to this level, but no one paid heed.
Divya, we see here that Darshan is a really popular star and actor. There's been police sources, information that there could be a lot of political push and pull, pressure on the police to try and let off Darshan easily in this case. Why don't you give us an understanding, you've been an actor yourself, on the clout that Darshan holds?
I mean, in the past, he did, okay, Nabila. I don't think he does anymore, and the way we're hyping him up. Like, for example, if he had that kind of clout, all his films would be super hits, right? That's not the case. And he campaigned for a couple of candidates in the last election. All of them lost. So I don't think, just because you see 20, 30 people standing outside the police station and things like that, it doesn't mean he has the kind of clout that, yes, they're notorious. They're literally rowdy elements, so you can call them that. So maybe that's why they grab everyone's attention. But I don't think he has the kind of clout that people are talking about. If that was the case, like I just told you, then it would be a different scenario. And there are other actors in the industry who have much, many, many more fans. And yes, in the past he did have, for example, I think he's got away so many times, right? He abused a waiter in a hotel.
This is not the first run into the law. He's really run into the law on the wrong side multiple times in the past. He's known to be a wife beater. And at that point, I'm sorry to bring in Ambrish here, but we hear that Ambrish was the one who came in, tried to resolve the situation and ensured that Darshan got off easily at that point. But give us more on the background. Darshan comes with baggage already.
Yeah, and then I saw a video of, a worker who used to work in his farmhouse before. They literally put a rod through his head. The guy lost his eye and he was giving an interview, and I was just there are so many videos that are coming out now, of the people who've been arrested along with him, beating up people. How can you do this? And the thing is, because he's been let off the hook so many times in the past, they think that he can this time too, and I really hope that doesn't happen, And I believe the police officers who are working on this case, they're, very strict and they follow the procedure. So I hope that's going to be the same way this time.
Some of the directors like Ram Gopal Verma says that this is a real star worship or idol worship syndrome. Fans going out of their way to do whatever their idol says to them. And Darshan has a full legit fans association. You have a president of the fans association, a man coordinating with the fans association. So that's the clout he holds among the people on the ground.
That's really sad, no? I mean, as an actor, you should be more responsible. You should ask people to do good things. There have been actors in the past who donated their eyes. There are people who do blood, charity. There are people who, give back to society in good ways. And then here you have this person who's using his fan club to kidnap people, to beat them up. It's just ridiculous. I mean,
the Sandalwood
I can't
industry...
think of another... Sorry, go ahead.
The Sandalwood industry at large, how are they looking at this story developing? Because it's brought such shame to the industry to show that the actor trying to, emulate what he does in his films, real and real. There's really no, no difference there. He's lost his bearings.
Of course. And I think people are able to see through that, right? As many are supporting him, there are more people who are, dissing his actions. They're like, this is not done. I was a fan of his, not anymore, and this is not okay. There are that many people who are coming out and saying that this is not okay.
Are we seeing people coming out unanimously condemning this? Has the Sandalwood industry come together to stand up against this kind of might?
industry I can't speak for because, to each their own. And I think most of them don't speak up because they're afraid. And because of his history and, like, clubs are really, like, very filthy online. I mean, this kind of stuff they say. And I think people in the industry, you're all about your projection and your image. So they feel like, it's beneath them to, like, comment on these things and shouldn't speak to their level, which I agree. And I think they're afraid, and so therefore they won't speak up. But I hope they do, because this is not, I mean, if you don't condemn this now, then what kind of a message are you giving to society? What are you telling people? That you're okay with this kind of behavior and this is what you stand for? I don't know. I mean, I find that ridiculous.
Divya Spandana, thank you very much for speaking to us. Well, as the probe now intensifies in the Sandalwood murder case, the police sources say that 30 lakh rupees that was provided by Darshan to cover up the Renuka Swamy murder case has now been seized. The money has been taken into custody by the cops. In fact, they've seized it from a close aide's residence of Darshan. Karnataka police recreated the entire crime scene on Thursday. The probe team took Darshan and his close associates, Raghavendra, to the spot where the crime had taken place. The spot in quest was done late at night in one of the places where victim Renuka Swamy was kidnapped from Chitradurga as well. Police will likely get the full post-mortem report by today, which will give a new direction, hopefully, for the police to carry forward with the investigation. It will reveal the weapons used in the case, the kind of torture that he had to undergo, Renuka Swamy, the way he was beaten up, and if the victim is also forced to drink alcohol. That's another angle they're probing into. The actor's close aide, Darshan's close aide, we believe, Nagaraj, has been arrested in connection with Renuka Swamy's murder. Nagaraj, in fact, was on the run since the police arrested actor Darshan. He's now has been arrested by the police. Amid this, the chorus against Darshan only grows. Prominent film personalities, even Ram Gopal Varma, has called this a perfect example of star worship syndrome.
So there are reports that a few influential leaders, ministers are trying to talk to senior leaders and ministers like Home Minister in connection with Darshan case.
No question. Even I only have not spoken. Forget the other minister. I myself have not spoken.
To help Darshan.
I spoke to the Q people. They said that due to media was always there in the police station, so they wanted to work very freely. That is why they have covered the police station. That's all. No, anyone can. If you have any complaint, you better go and try. If you are having any problem with the police station, you can go and try.
I think whatever is there, law is equal to everyone. And whatever has happened in that particular incident, as per law, the police will have to act. And I won't say anybody is guilty or not guilty. That is for the courts to decide. But I think law should be applied equally to all. And nobody is bigger than the law. That's all I can say. And I don't see, any kind of influence working, especially in these kind of cases, when, it's a murder case. And I'm sure that there will be absolutely no room for any kind of, pressures to be put on this investigation.